Hello people of Facebook and YouTube, you're tuning in Not So Live to my movie reviews, and this is my fifth one, and it's going to be my final Friday the 13th review, and it's going to be for Friday the 13th, the 2009, I think it was, maybe 7, I don't know, the remake is what I'm trying to say, the one by the same name as the original, which always kind of bugged me because it's basically like all the remakes. Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th. They don't suggest it's a remake. They just release it under the same name. And sometimes they're not a remake. They're a prequel or a sequel, like The Thing that came out just like a couple of days ago. It's a prequel to the original The Thing, but they have the same name. And I just imagine that's just going to confuse the hell out of people. But anyway, this Friday the 13th is basically a throwback. Like the Nightmare on Elm Street that I already reviewed, it's really kind of trying to be a throwback to the way Jason was and is supposed to be, while also adding some new elements and some creative twists to his persona. Like on Nightmare on Elm Street, they gave Freddy a little bit of a background, they made him look more like a real burn victim, and they overall just kind of tweaked the storyline. Same thing with Friday the 13th. They make Jason a little bit smarter. They change his overall method towards killing, his violence level, I guess you would call it, and his indestructibility. In this one, it goes back to the some of the original concepts of he's invincible, but he's not indestructible, which I think are two totally different things. Up until the fifth one, Jason he's invincible. You can't really kill him, but when you hit him, when you slice him, when you stab him, it does things. He'll have a scar on his head, he'll have a torn open jaw, but pretty much after Jason lives, he's both invincible and indestructible. It doesn't matter what you do to him, nothing is going to happen. And I like watching it and seeing substance, even if I know it's not going to kill him, because you can't kill Jason, but watching it, I love seeing that and being able to see him getting hurt, like blood spurting from Jason is satisfying because you want to see him get hurt that guy, yeah, because you know he's invincible, and it kind of makes it satisfying. He's a punching bag to these people. You just chainsaws and knives and axes just hitting him, and he doesn't do anything. It doesn't kill him is what I mean. It actually does something, and that's what I think it should be. In this movie, big problem, they exaggerate everything. There is so much it's not funny, but it's not really, it doesn't have any funny undertones as much as some of the movies it's based off of, but it comes off almost like a parody or a satire kind of thing, because it looks and feels like they're just exaggerating every little thing you associate with a slasher film. There's so much sex, there's so much nudity, there's so much violence, and there's so much drugs and alcohol. It's like the ultimate in, hey kids, don't do these things because you're getting killed, and it just exaggerates them to an extent where it's really unpleasant to watch this movie. I mean, you want to see those guys die, and this is probably the pinnacle of movies like that. I don't think I've ever seen a movie where I wanted to see those people get killed more, just because you grow to hate them. They are unpleasant people, and if you were to see those people in society, you would want to stab them in the face with a machete. And I don't know whether that adds to the movie, or because you're getting to see them die, or whether it takes away from it just because you've grown to hate them so much that the payoff can't possibly be as good as that. The suffering is actually a lot more in this movie. You get in the older, especially like the third and the fourth, you get like a death that's like that. You just get to see that arrow go into the eye, and then the scene is over. So like, and then cut. Whereas in this one, they really, really drag out the deaths, especially the screwdriver and the axe kills. They take such a long time to finally get that death to go through that by the end of it, you're just sitting there all, ugh. You feel unpleasant in yourself. You're just like, ugh, I can't believe it took that long to kill that guy. Jason's not efficient. He has fun with this. You can tell that Jason is having fun killing these people because he's not fast with it at all. But in the screwdriver one, at least, in the axe kill, it gives an element of this guy is a genius, actually. In the old movies, he's kind of like, you hit him to piss him off, and then he'll just come after you and pick up something sharp or a weapon or something and then just start swinging. Whereas in this one, he sets things up. He wants people to come into these traps. He sets up systems. He has a method. He has strategy. And that makes him really terrifying. I love that aspect of him. I love that they made him an intelligent being capable of setting up things. It kind of takes away from the persona of him a little bit, because he's supposed to be this retarded person who doesn't really know better than to kill, but in this one he's fully intelligent and he's capable of setting up kills, and that makes him more terrifying, but it takes away a lot of the element of Jason that comes with it. Like I said, the deaths of this one are slow, dragged out suffering, but they're really cool and really creative, and I really like them. They take Jason back to his original sort of dark, less invincible, more powerful presence that he used to have. He's no longer the hero. I love that. Pretty much from the fourth film on, you're rooting for Jason. You want Jason to go and get that person. You're sitting there as he's closing in on them going, yeah, get him. Whereas in this one, Jason is again the antagonist, which is what I think Jason should be. Jason does his best performances in the antagonist role. I think they nailed the body count on this one. They got exact right a number of people who die and exactly when they should die and how they should die, and I really like that. Like I said, the downside is all of the themes are exaggerated. It's unpleasant to watch, especially to people like me who have a brain larger than a peanut. It's pretty much just a vulgar, violent, all-around Ultimate Jason film. And by Ultimate Jason, I do not mean Jason X. I don't care what you say, that is not a good movie. And the reason I'm not always looking at the camera is because my window showing me what I look like and the camera are actually two very different places. So I'm trying to make sure I'm always in camera, whereas I can't really look at the camera all the time. So that's why I never really look at the camera. I don't know why I explained that, but I'm not going to delete it because it gives this video substance. It makes it feel like we're connected. I don't know what I'm saying. Overall, I give this movie a thumbs up, and I would give it 3 stars. It's good, it's gory, it's ultimately exaggerated, it's unpleasant to watch in terms of I don't know whether I'd even want to say that. It's just got a dirty, adult, sort of grody undercurrent that I don't like, and it's a very vulgar ultimate in don't do these things or you will die, and it brings Jason back to his roots in terms of the... Oh, something I forgot to mention is this isn't a remake of the original. It's a remake of the first 4, because it starts kind of with, it gives the backstory behind Jason and Pamela Voorhees in terms of the killing spree and her death, but it takes off from the second one where he has a bag on his head, and then in this is what I think the second, third, and fourth films should have been in the first place, was this correlation of just short little mini stories and then this big hunk of Jason being Jason, as opposed to the separate movies that don't really go anywhere. So this is what I think the original movie should have been in this compact little movie, but it's not as good as the original or the fourth one. I think the original and the fourth one are probably my favorites out of the entire series, except Freddy vs. Jason. That's my ultimate favorite in both of the franchises. But I'll get that review after my Nightmare on Elm Street, which I'm starting next. I might make a review tonight and then post it later. I don't know. But that is pretty much my review. 3 stars, thumbs up. Go see it, go rent it, go find it, watch it. It'll probably be easier to find. But if you don't like seeing lots and lots of sex and drugs and violence, well, if you don't like violence, you shouldn't be even considering it. But if you don't like the really vulgar stuff, don't see this movie. I know I'm probably going to get some flack for the fact that I shouldn't technically be watching movies like this, but I couldn't legally obtain it without my parents' consent, so haters be hating, shut your mouth. And that is pretty much it, so see you later, people!